Tape-in hair extension removal made easy for you guys. So we're going to start with our tip applicator bottle filled with our remover. Our remover is Christian Michael hair extension remover. So we have our first section, we get our doll head, make the exact same section. Then we go in with our tip applicator bottle and we barely just drag it on the top. Then we start to drive that tip right in, going the exact same way that the natural hair is going. We're going to put our rat tail comb on the corner and we're going to make a little opening. Now, when we are opening, we are actually pushing the hair up. We're going towards the root because what we don't want to do is we don't want to be ripping the opposite way. So when you are doing this, you should not be losing any of the client's natural hair at all. I understand there's going to be shedding because obviously we shed a lot of hair per day. And so that's been in this extension for 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes 10. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the exact same spot on our doll head, place the tape extension in that exact spot. The cool part about this is it added about 5 extra minutes to my removal and retape. However, I didn't have any question as to where those tapes were going. So it actually, it made a lot more time for me because I didn't have to question myself. Now, the tip applicator bottle is really awesome because it doesn't get the remover all over the extensions themselves. The actual hair keeps things really nice and clean, and it's placing the remover exactly where you want it to go. It's going to start to break up that adhesive really, really easily for you because typically what we do is we spray our remover everywhere and kind of hope for the best. Well, this is already going in and adding that remover directly in the middle for you versus getting it everywhere. Now we're going to have our remover off to the side because when we start to open some of these tapes, we might need to spray just a little bit in there to give a little more give for us. But in reality, this tip applicator bottle is going to be a godsend. Now you're probably asking, where did you get this tip applicator bottle? Great question. I got it on Temu, you guys. I'm not kidding. They have a whole bunch of options. They were like $5 for 12. I mean, don't quote me on that, but they have deals all the time. So I really, really love this. And I do love Christian Michael hair extension remover. It is an alcohol base. Now, remember when you are doing this, you want to be using an alcohol-based remover. This is really, really important because if you are not using alcohol-based, you're going to have to go in and make sure that you are washing the extensions right at the top to remove any sort of oil because again, this is not oil-based, this is alcohol-based. So as you see here, I'm actually going to go in with my remover spray and I'm going to do a little spray in there. So that way I can get that remover even more in there because this needs a little bit of extra help. Now, if you are using the tip applicator bottle, you can go in and place that adhesive, that tip applicator bottle in between the adhesive of a whole bunch of tape-ins, let them sit, and that way when you go in to remove, it's going to be even easier. So now I want to show you guys, we have our lineup here. Okay, this is our very first row. She has some sew-ins on the bottom, so I already know exactly where they're going to be placed. Now we're going to start to go in and get rid of these little baby knots. So she didn't have much of this other than back here because this is where she primarily sweats at nighttime. So what I did is I started to break it up a little bit with my rat tail comb and my fingers. I don't ever just go straight in with the comb. I like to kind of break it up and I'm lifting my comb up. I'm diving in just a little bit and I'm lifting my comb up because I'm not just going to go ripping and get all crazy. So she had a little bit of glue adhesive back there from the tape tabs. So I used my spray bottle at this point because I already know I'm going to do her roots and I'm going to go on ahead and wash and clean her up anyway. And when we do wash out tape-ins, we want to make sure we're using a clarifying shampoo. Okay, clarifying shampoo is going to be very, very helpful to make sure that you get rid of any sort of residue that they may have when you are doing a removal. This is super, super, super key. Now, she has a lot of hair, you guys. She had hardly any shedding. And I mean that seriously. It was not very much at all, and not much on the extensions either. She just is one of those clients that has shorter hair, but like boatloads of hair, you know what I mean? So I'm breaking it up with my fingers. Again, I really take my time here when I am removing little tiny knots, any sort of extension method that I'm doing, whether it's tape-ins, whether it's hand tie, it doesn't matter what it is. I take my time and I like to preserve any natural hair that might be stuck in that knot, because I don't want to go in and just start ripping at hair. I'm being really nice and kind to it because, again, there is a little bit of the tape tab left over. Now, the tape-ins that I'm using are from Christian Michael Hair Extensions, and her wefts themselves are also from Christian Michael Hair Extensions. If you guys want more education, just so that you know, as a heads up, please click the subscribe button. And also, I do have an education program. They range from $27 to $47 per month, and we have 7 methods. So if you need extra help, please dive into that. I'll leave it in the description below for you guys so that you have it all. So at this point, I'm going to go into my next row where I see all of the tapes. So I'm going to get it as even as I possibly can, get it all tied up, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on my doll head. Now, this is where it's really, really key, you guys, because it's so utterly helpful when you go in to retape, when you go in to reapply and do the actual tightening, it is going to be in the exact same spot. And it is going to be so clean, especially if you were doing combo methods and you're concerned, oh my gosh, like, I don't know about you guys, but I have had many of times where I have made the mistake of putting a tape in the wrong area, and now we've got a short piece or a long piece. You will not have any of that with this method. And again, you guys, truly, this added maybe 5 minutes to my removal and retape, but in reality, I feel like I saved more time. So we're going to go in, do the exact same thing that we were doing before, placing our tip applicator bottle. And when we are removing and opening up that tape tab, we're pushing up towards the root. We are not just ripping open, we are pushing upwards. Really important there, guys. It's going to save your client, and it's going to save you a lot. So make sure you're pushing that upwards. And here is the end result for you guys. So now we're going to take this same doll head over and we're going to start to retape. So I have baby powder here. I have Christian Michael Hair Extension tape tabs. And then I have my little clippies and some remover and a towel. The towel is really important so that you can wipe off the tape or wipe off your hands. So I'm going to start at my very, very first row here. So I'm going to remove my first one, and I'm going to immediately take it and just douse it in the baby powder right up on that tape tab. And I really mean that. Like, I douse it like the little savage that it is. And we had a little oopsie, drop that guy. But here's the thing. Sometimes when you're removing tape, it can be such a you know what, okay? Because it'll come off in little pieces. But here is the thing. I love the Christian Michael Hair Extension tape tabs because they come off as one, and even better when you put them in the baby powder. I cannot stress this enough. It is not sticky at all on that tape tab. It is like a godsend. So now we're going to take our tape tabs here and start to place our tape tabs back on. Now, this is really important. When you are retaping or retabbing a tape in, you want to make sure that you are taping it on the correct side, okay? This is really important because if you don't, it's not going to stick as well, and you're probably going to notice a client coming back with some open tapes. So make sure that when you are doing this, you are following exactly what side it is. So now I'm going to go on ahead and make the cut here, and you know, I get it. It's going to take a couple extra seconds to do this. But again, this is all to ensure that we have it in the exact same spot. And no joke, took me 5 extra minutes. So now I'm going to go on ahead and clip that guy right into place and follow the exact same method. I'm going to speed it up for you guys here, dousing it in the baby powder, removing that tape tab, getting it all nice and clean, placing it on the tape, cutting it, and then putting it right back where it's supposed to be. And for me, you guys, there's just no question. A lot of times we go in and we remove all the tape, and then we go in and retab all of them, and it just can become an issue. Tapes get lost. So for me, I have noticed that this method is the most foolproof method on the planet, okay? And here it is done. Let me know in the comments if you try this. Let me know if this helps. Love you so much.